everybody.
Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. We are so excited to be here and to see you guys again for another week. So thank you so much for being here. I am Shani.
And I'm Lacretia.
And we are the Gospel Girls. And we are super excited for this episode. It's been brewing in us. We've been brewing on this one. And this episode is going to be about holy fear. And it came right on time because I just actually finished this book. It's called The Awe of God, and it is in regards to the fear of God, and it's by John Bevere. So if you guys have not checked that book out, please check it out because it will bless your whole entire life. But yeah, we just gonna jump right in.
Okay. Yep. Well, let me say this. Thank you so much for everyone who left positive comments. We read them and we reply to them.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your encouraging words.
Yes.
We appreciate it. And we want to let you guys know that we do this for the glory of God. This is not for us, but for Him. And we want to know how God has blessed you. In any and every way. If He's blessed you through a message that we have presented and conveyed or talked about, please let us know. But yeah, like I just wanted to say that because when I read those comments, I'll be like, oh my God.
And I think that one of the goals also for this platform that God gave us was community. So we definitely wanted to have a safe space for people to be able to, you know, get the word, get the truth, but also if you're going through something, you need some prayers, you need somebody to just talk to, like we are here.
Absolutely.
So just to let y'all know, we are always here, and we would love to hear some testimonies. We would love to hear whatever you want to share, whatever God has. If God gave you a message, you know, whatever it is, we would love to hear it.
Absolutely. So we're gonna dive into it.
We are.
We're gonna be coming from Psalms and Proverbs. I know, like, Psalms can be, well, this is what I used to think. Psalms was intimidating. Like, just like Revelations, like, it was intimidating.
Because it's so long?
Yeah. And it's like, but, like, I love Proverbs because it's like, that's just, I feel like God just took all His wisdom, put it in there, and just dumped it. Like, you know, I love Proverbs, but Psalms is like, But, you know, reading about, you know, fearing God and what that means. As I read these verses, it was more of friendship with God. It's like this, you're in His circle. You're in this, just close relationship
like
with Him.
It's like an intimacy. When you have that, it's very, very intimate between you and God. Like that's the intimacy. When you actually fear Him, that is where the intimacy level goes to 1,000. You know what I mean? Like it's because it's like y'all are on the same page now. You know what I mean? You're right where He wants you to be.
Yes, and I know, like my holy fear of God is, you know, He has done so many great things for me. Like just looking back on all the times where I have, you know, prayed and He showed up and I was in need and He answered. It was like He is my Father.
Absolutely.
And as a father, like I don't want to disappoint Him by my wrongdoing, and you know, I don't want to misrepresent Him.
Oh, that's good.
Because when people like talk about Christians, it's like it's kind of almost associated in a negative way. I don't want to be associated like that. It's like I am His child. If I am to be called a Christian, that I am going to be Christ-like. And that's why, girl, when I say every single day, what fruit am I going to be, you know, presenting to, you know, to the world today, because I am a light.
Absolutely.
And it's because of Him that I get to be a light to this world.
And fear of God for me, it looks like separation. I've come so far in my walk with Him, and I love His presence. I love the relationship that we have. He talks to me when I need him. He's there for me. So it's like being separated from him is an absolute no-go for me. Right. It's a deal breaker. So whatever, and this is a very tough prayer, but I pray it all the time. I used to be scared to pray it, but no, I'm no longer scared. Mm-hmm. But it's whatever it takes, Lord. Whatever it takes, I will do it. Whatever you say, don't do, whatever I have to give up, whatever you tell me to do that's uncomfortable for me, whatever lengths I need to go, I will go, because you have done that for me. You know what I mean? Like, you snatched me from things. You saved me from things.
Snatched you from the teeth of the devil.
Yes,
right?
You snatched me. So it's just being separated from him. I can't live life without him. I don't want to be apart from him. Like, that is just, I've dedicated my life to him. That's it. You know?
Right. And it's all about him.
Yes.
None of me, none of
me. Ooh,
the flesh. Like when I think about all the things that I gave up, that at first, when you're in sin, you don't know you're in sin until your eyes have been open. You know what I mean? Yeah. So the things that I used to do, I'm like, I can't even taint. I can't even taint myself with that stuff. It's like, absolutely not. My father will be greatly disappointed in me because I've made it so far and I'm going to fall back in. Yeah. It's like, what does that say about our relationship?
Come on.
Because we had this conversation. Me and him had this conversation, like, this is what you will be giving up. Yeah. But this is what you're going to gain.
Yes. And he talks about that in the Bible. Like, the expectations of whoever tries to save their life will lose it, but whoever loses their life for my sake will find it. That's the expectation that he has, is you're going to lose. You're going to lose your life. You have to lose your life. Give it up. You know what I mean? That's the expectation of walking with Christ. You're going to have to give up some things. You know what I mean? And that's just a part of the process, and he's letting us know ahead of time. If you follow me, you're going to have to deny yourself, pick up your cross, and follow me. You know what I mean? Like, he's letting us know these things. It's not a secret. You know what I mean? So when people who call themselves and profess to be Christians but are not walking the walk and really not taking up their cross, and they're not denying their flesh, you're not a child of Christ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I don't know you.
Yeah.
So you can just turn around and exit. And that's, for me, that's the fear. It's like, I don't want to get to heaven and he be like, who are you?
That is so good.
Lord.
That is the right.
Girl, like, you'll be like, wait a second. He'd be like, I don't know you. Depart. I don't know who you are. I will be I don't even know if you're going to have a face in heaven. But this is all though. Like, it's going to be a trap door that just come and then, I don't know, but
that's it.
That's it right there for me. That's the holy fear. I be like picturing it, like, for him to not, you think you getting it right, but then you get in front of him and he's like, I don't know you.
Yeah. And that's why me and Cree preach so much about, we have to get this right.
Right.
It's no other, we have to get this right. Whatever, if we got to read our Bible 23 hours out of the day, you know what I mean? Like, whatever it takes,
you know what,
for us to get it.
I told someone the other day, I was like, this is rehearsal down here.
Yes.
Like, this is rehearsal. If you want to make it into the show, which is heaven, like, what we do down here determines if we're gonna make it there. So just because you do what seems right in the public eye, but you do everything wrong behind closed doors. You don't obey God. You don't, you don't follow his word. You don't read his word. You don't pray. You don't fast. You don't do any of that. But you present yourself as this God-fearing person. You getting it all wrong. And you're not doing yourself any favors by pretending that you're this holy person, because you're not. I mean, when that time comes and we all got to face judgment,
we all have to face it.
You won't be able to hide from it.
And it's like, what sense does it make for Jesus to come and die on the cross for our sins, for us to continue to still live in sin?
Right.
What was the point?
What was the point?
What, like literally, for the people who say, well, Jesus died for my sins and we got grace and God forgives me, he loves me, but I'm gonna still continue to live. What sense does that make for our God? Like that's belittling our God at this point, because it's like, that don't even make sense. Why would I still allow y'all to do what I sent my only begotten son to die for? Like, he was, and let's be clear, he didn't just die, he was brutally murdered, attacked. Like, he was, you know what I mean? Like, it was the way he died.
It was unspeakable.
Yeah.
Unfathomable. And he willingly gave himself up as a sacrifice. I don't know about y'all, but if you didn't come from my body, hence my children, I'm not sacrificing myself to that extent, right? But because he knew why he came, and you know that the whole world, he was going to basically cover the whole world's sin, he took all that on. And when I think about it, I mean, just if you think about it, you read about it, but you know, sometimes you can like watch movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, watch the crucifixion, watch Passion of Christ.
Girl, when I say,
and that ain't even close to what he actually went through.
I know they downplayed it, I'm sure, but I mean, we weren't there to see. They're taking it from the Bible, but at the same time, it's like we have no clue what he went through. And he had flesh. He was the Word wrapped in flesh. So he felt pain. He felt all the emotions that we feel. Love, pain, all of that other stuff. And every single whip and tear at his flesh, he felt that. It wasn't like, oh, he was just, he didn't feel any pain. No, he felt all pain.
Absolutely.
And he still chose to die for us.
That part.
Who are we?
And listen, he tried
for granted?
That part. He tried to not do it. We're gonna get into verses in a minute. We just got caught up. But he tried to, he prayed to God and he said, Lord, if it's your will, let this cup pass. Because he didn't really want to die. He didn't really want to do it. But he said, Lord, if it's your will, I will do it. But if there's any other way for this to happen, let this cup pass me. Let something else have to happen. He tried to get out of it, but the Lord, because he's so faithful to his Father, and he is obedient to his Father.
Right.
He continued.
He could have straight up said,
I'm
good.
Yeah, I would have prayed that prayer, child. Being honest, I would have prayed that prayer, and I would have been like, I'm out.
Right.
I'm out.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good.
For real.
I like my body as a whole. I don't want any parts missing.
Seriously. Seriously.
And it's one of those. It's just when you truly understand the sacrifice that was made.
When you truly understand,
you will not want to take advantage of His goodness, the forgiveness, the grace. It's like absolutely not.
And that's an introduction to the fear of God. That's the introduction right there. When you truly understand what Jesus did on the cross, that's your introduction right there.
Absolutely. Okay, first verse. Psalms 25:14. The friendship of the Lord is for those who fear Him, and He makes known to truth His covenant. It's like,
if you want to be His friend, child, you got to fear Him, basically.
Yes, and through that friendship and fearing and I don't want it to come across like, oh,
right. It's not a scary fear.
Like
it's not a scary fear at all.
It is a
reverence.
Like we talked about, like we want to make sure that we God gave us life. The basic thing that we can do is give it back.
Come on. Girl, I'm about to throw whatever at her. Because she is speaking. For real.
Like the basic thing.
For real.
Because our lives, when you understand your life is not your own, you did not foresee your coming. You did not create yourself. You did not shape yourself in your mother's womb. You didn't do any of that.
You didn't do any of it.
God did that.
You're on borrowed breath and every
and every breath, every action you take is to give back to him.
Come on. We are to be a living sacrifice. This is not our life. We are here for a purpose. He knew us when we were in our mother's womb. He knew our purpose. He knew what we were going to go through. He knew all of it.
Right.
Figure out your purpose. Figure out why God has you here, and fulfill the purpose. Fulfill the mission.
And that what comes in and make known to them his covenant, his promise.
His promise.
For you.
Come on.
When that friendship and that fear... Friendship and fear, it's like interchangeable. Yep. Well, we give God we reverence God, but it's a give and take where, okay, we have that relationship. Now I'm going to make known to you all the promise, all the purpose I got for you. Yep. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. Just be faithful. Come to me. Talk to me. We cool. We friends.
Because a few people, let's talk about some people who actually fear God in the Bible. Abraham feared God for sure. Moses feared God for sure. Wow. David feared God for sure. You know what I mean? All of these people are friends. It's this scripture. Yeah. All of them are friends of God. They had the most intimate closeness with him. He spoke to them direct. You know what I mean? Like favor on their lives.
And he told them, this is what. Abraham, he will be the father of all nations, right? Come on. Moses, he would take the people to the promised land, right? David, he will be king of Israel. It's like they submitted. They submitted to his will. They sought out his face, and he told them what he had in store for them.
Yep. And he sent them on a mission, and it wasn't easy work. None of them had an easy way. You know what I mean? None of them had an easy way, but they were obedient to whatever he told them to do.
Girl, can you imagine God telling you, first of all, can we just back up? Because all of those things were huge.
Yeah, yeah.
And back in those times, it's like, I'm going to be the father of many nations.
Right.
Like, I don't know. I don't even know what that looked like. And you're going to be the king of Israel, even though you were a shepherd.
Come on.
You're
gonna lead the people.
You're gonna lead the entire Israel people out of slavery,
and they wasn't even
take them back to the promised land.
They wasn't even a people. He had to create them to be a people, and then,
first of all, that was so big, I'm sure, for them to even fathom, right? And God has the same for us. It's like the promises He had for us, I am sure, is so large. Yeah, we can't even. Comprehend. Yeah. Also, imagine like Abraham, he didn't live long enough to see all these nations.
I was just about to say that because you told me that. You was like, what you're doing is going to benefit generations to come.
You may not even see it.
But your obedience is required in this time.
Girl, Moses didn't see the promised land. God refused. He said, you know what?
Right.
You won't, because the people are just so hard-headed. They won't see it. Their children and their children is going to see it. But God refused. Yes, they obey eventually. Obeyed, but it's one of those things where sometimes what you're doing now, what God has you doing now, you think you're going to see the benefit of it, and it may not be until your grandchildren. Come on. But because you laid the foundation for the house to be built upon by God. Come on. Your children is going to reap the benefit of your obedience.
Come on. It ain't always about you. It's not always about you.
It's not always about you.
Don't be looking for your blessing. What is God going to do for me? What is this? Start praying for other people.
Girl, because God already told you, your children, your husband, they're all going to be saved. They will confess my name, and they're going to lay aside sin. They're going to God already told me that, so that's what I'm clinging to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm clinging to that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so the next verse is Psalms 112, verse 1. Praise the Lord. Blessed is the man who fears the Lord, who delights in His commandments.
If you fear Him, you will obey His commandments.
But what I have highlighted is delights in His commandments.
That means you want to. It's a delight. It's a joy. It's a joy to be obedient.
Yes, absolutely. Like God gave these the commandments so we can not have a restricted life, or have a blessed life, because He said it. Blessed is the man
Right. The commandments are to improve our life.
Right.
It's not a rule. Oh, I gotta follow this law. I gotta, you know what I mean?
I mean, the rules. So you know, everybody knows the 10 Commandments, right? You know, but it's like those laws or commandments were made because usually laws and rules are made because the people keep doing it over and over again. It's like, okay, now I gotta make a law against this.
Exactly.
So everybody can know this is the wrong thing to do.
Exactly. You can't do this. No more.
That's it. Stop. And since you can't stop on your own, I'm gonna make it illegal for you to even do this. Right. But later on, you know, there were different commandments. Love thy neighbor. You know, love God with all your heart. There's different commandments that came, and understanding he wants you to take delight in loving your neighbor. And praising God. Those are the things that's going to give you joy.
That's going to give you life. Yeah.
People missing that.
Yeah.
And like I said, like when people hear fear, it's
scary.
Like you're cowering in the corner because God's going to smite you.
No, a fear is the holy fear is reverent, showing I respect you, Lord.
I was going to say that respect
because it is like you have to give him his seat at the table in your life. Right? So God has a very special seat in my life, and it's above everything else. Right. And it's a very comfy seat. He can come as he goes. It's a reclining chair, child, and it's blankets and everything. Like literally, that he wants his own. He's not going to compete. He's not going to compete with things in your life. Like you trying to put your husband over him. He's not going to compete with that. He's going to let you do that. You go ahead.
You go ahead and see how far that takes you.
Right. Exactly. You putting your kids before him. No. He's going to let you do that. He's going to let you have that because he's not going to fight for his seat.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you have to understand where he is in your life. Like what he is above everything else. He is a jealous God. We cannot have nothing above him. Nothing. And that's hard when it comes to husbands, wives, kids. That's hard for people to understand. But child, I done came to listen. God's blessed me with my children, and I'm so very grateful for them. But God comes before them as period point blank.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like
your kids can't save you.
Right.
Your husband, your wife,
right?
All these people, your car,
your mother, your father.
It's not even. Sometimes it may not even be a person. It could just be an object,
an idol.
Girl, how many?
Your job. I'm not
coming for the men, but how many of them miss out on church to watch the game?
Come on.
And God wants you in the house serving.
Come on.
Okay, so we just saying. You can't have these other things, and now that you know, like, man, you know, I did watch that car 5 times in one day, and I didn't pick up my Bible once. It's like now you know.
The light bulb goes on. Absolutely. And when you feel that, that's conviction. That's okay. That's not a bad thing, or I feel bad because I didn't do this. Just do right next time. Get back up and do right the next time.
Yeah. Okay. Last verse for Psalms is chapter 145 and verse 19. He fulfills the desires of those who fear him. He also hears their cry and saves them. Listen, you will not be discarded by God. He knows the desires of your heart. He knows you in and out because you have that. If you have that relationship, well, besides relationship, he knows you.
He knows you.
You know, but he wants that. He wants to draw you in, so he will hear your cry. Like I said, like there is no way I'm gonna feel separation from God because I feel like that's hell. That's hell right there.
That part, like anytime I feel any type of strain away from him, or I'm feeling like, oh Lord, I can't really hear you, child. Let me do something. Let me get in my secret place. Let me figure it out because I don't like that.
I know.
I don't like not hearing you. I don't like not feeling your. I don't like it.
And you know what? Like recently, I've been seeking God and praying and reading His Word, and I've felt. And I kind of still feel like I don't hear him answering me, but if you remember, was it a couple days ago? I don't know what it was, but he said, do the last thing I told you to do.
Yes.
Do the last thing I told you to do.
If you
and you know what, girl, and it just dawned on me. He's like, I'm not gonna repeat myself.
I already told you, and you want new instruction, and you haven't fulfilled the last thing I told you to do. So that's why I'm not giving you new instruction. I've already told you.
And you know what? Like, this is one of those things where, and this is why I love our relationship, because it's like, we be talking about God, and then we get this huge atomic bomb dropped.
All the time, y'all.
God already said what he said.
All right.
It's not rocket science. I think we make it harder than what we needed to make it.
Yeah.
And God is like, it's simple.
Yeah.
You just don't like, sometimes like we don't like the answer
right.
that you give.
Right.
So we try to get a different one.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, no, it's not hard.
Same thing I said last time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not new.
Same thing.
But because like, we're in that position that we fear God, and we're like, okay, you're right. Mm-hmm. That respect for God, because it could be easily, you know what, he ain't say nothing this time, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do what I do.
Yep.
And I've done that for 40 something years, and
ain't doing it.
And it's like, God, like, we can be in the most scariest place in our life. Mm-hmm. And like me personally, that's where I feel I am right now. Like, it's a very scary, unsure place, but I know the God I serve.
Come on. And that's it. As long as you got to remain in the confidence, because when the storm is attacking, the storm is there.
Girl.
Most people lose that confidence. They're like, well, I ain't really sure if God is strong enough for this. I'm not really sure
I know
if he's
strong
able
enough.
to.
I just want to see it, Lord. You know,
as long as you got the confidence.
Girl, you know that Michael Jackson, and I think a pastor made this reference or something, but that Michael Jackson, Billie Jean, where he like dancing and the light come on, it's like, that's where I'm at. It's like, I'm in this dark place, and God's just like, like, as soon as I put my foot up, God's gonna shine a light somewhere, and that's where I'm gonna go. But it's like, I don't want to be in this dark place
forever, right?
I don't want to not see, and I feel like that's the relationship with God. It's like, you're not gonna see what's in front of you. You have to pick your foot up. See, when you do the motion of picking your foot up, you are anticipating that there's gonna be something to step on.
That's faith. We have to practice our faith. We can't just say, my faith is big, I got big faith, and not practice it.
Girl,
because
nothing moving in your life. You ain't serving nowhere. You ain't reading your Bible. You ain't praying.
Your faith is going to be tested throughout this walk multiple times. It's not just going to be, this one thing and then I'm good. Your faith is going to be tested. Your faith is going to be tested. So make sure, but that's why it's so important to have the strong foundation. You have to be anchored in your word. Read the Bible.
Yeah.
Read his word. That is the closest. That is how you're going to get close to him. That's how you going to get to know him.
Intimately, like you said, it's an intimate thing.
Yeah,
it's a come on, Lord,
right?
Can't wait to read with you.
For real.
Learn more about you.
Yes,
because God is not. To me, He's not a complicated God. He's not complicated
at all.
He lets you know where He stands, who He is,
his
what
expectations.
He'll do.
Come on.
So it's not a surprise.
It's not nothing is a secret. That's why we have this.
Right.
It's so to inform us and prepare us. It's nothing should become to a secret. He is not keeping secrets from us. He will tell us.
Yeah, he's telling. Like, the thing is, because here's the thing: like, people who are not in close relationship with him think he's mysterious.
Why? It's like no.
It's like
he's a cut and dry.
It's pretty black and white.
Come on.
But because they never picked up a Bible, they never read it. They don't know who he is.
Or because the word that's in there is convicting to you. You don't agree with it. It doesn't sit right with you. You don't understand why you have to do this and do that.
Why I gotta give up all this? to get this from God, or to be this, because He's holy.
And in order for you to truly have the holy fear of God, you have to show humility. You have to be humble. There's no way for you to have true fear of God if you ain't humble. And that's just period point blank. That's just period point blank.
Humility, like humility, fall to your face.
Oh, that's the next verse. Let's get into it.
Yeah.
Proverbs 15:33.
Yeah.
Okay. The fear of the Lord teaches a man wisdom, and humility comes before honor. You have to have humility. You cannot fear the Lord and not have humility. Like, you have to be humble. You have to be able to surrender, bow down, obey, love. You know what I mean? Like, you have to be able to do all of those things in order to truly fear Him and truly give Him the reverence that He deserves.
I think like that's very hard for people who operate in pride.
It is.
It's like because
and pride is destruction.
Yeah, and they feel like I don't want to be looked at as weak or be walked over, and it's beyond that. It is a acknowledging that God is all knowing, all powerful. He's all these things, and He is above you.
Yeah. Literally
and figuratively. So you don't know it all.
Come on.
He does. And for you to pretend that you know it all, you're better than anybody else, and all these other arrogant things, God's going to bring you down.
Come on.
He's going to break you down to the point where, and I feel like this can either be done voluntarily or involuntarily. Like if you wake up and be like, God, I surrender to you. I've been operating in pride, and I no longer want to do that. Like, teach me how to be humble. He'll do it.
He will. He will. He will. He will. He will. And you may not like what that test look like, what that little storm gonna look like, child, but he will do it. He will.
But and in my version, it says the fear of the Lord is instruction and wisdom.
That's good. The fear of the Lord is instruction. It brings a different knowledge.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's a different, I
feel like instruction, to me, this says, when you surrender to God, when you have that fear for Him, you are able to receive instruction.
Yeah.
And through that, you will gain the wisdom that He wants you to have.
Yeah.
When it's all about being teachable.
Ooh.
If you're teachable, able to receive instruction, that's when you're going to get the wisdom. You ever heard of I want to graduate from the school of hard knocks? Like, what kind of ghetto unholy stuff is that? Like,
but that's why when Jesus was here with the disciples, Peter, he had to show him that he had to be humble. Peter was off the wall. Like, he had to be humble.
You know
what I mean? Like, he had to let it. He was for sure. He was bad about it. But you know what I mean? Like, he had to let him know, you cannot act like this.
You can't.
You cannot. You need to humble yourself. Yeah.
And we ain't about that life.
And we ain't.
So put your sword down.
Put it down, sir. You don't need that.
Right. It's like, because like coming from the disciples, and I understood because they felt like they had to protect Jesus.
Yeah.
But in the end, it was Him that protected them.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things
and
where
Jesus is like, I don't need protection because my Father is protecting me. So I don't need y'all.
Right.
You know what I mean? He was at a whole different level.
He was on level 10 and they were still on 4. Like, no sir. Like, even when he said, when Jesus was talking about, him, being delivered over to, to be crucified.
Like, wait, what?
He was like, oh no, Lord.
Why?
And God was like, get behind me, Satan. And
Peter
was like,
why? For real. But for real. Because you acting out of the spirit of Satan right now. Because
it was, first of all, Jesus knew his assignment.
He did.
They didn't.
They didn't trust him enough to understand that what he was doing was telling you, and you need to receive the information. You trying to rebuke it. You trying to, you know what I mean? Like, you trying to, and it's like, no, this has to happen. This is my Father's will.
Right. But
So
they
get
didn't want
behind
to be
me,
with,
Satan.
they didn't want to be without him.
Right.
I was like, no, he's here.
But
It's
Jesus
like,
had to go, so the Holy
Yeah,
Spirit, so we can get the
right.
Holy Spirit. You know
right.
what I
So
mean?
everybody can have it, because as long as he stayed,
Exactly.
everybody couldn't receive, you know, that love, that companionship that the disciples had. And I felt like it was kind of selfish.
Yeah.
Until he explained it to them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm sure it was like, nah, forget about everybody else. You can stay here with us.
Yeah. Just like Judas. I was listening to somebody teach about Judas. And it was like, everybody hates Judas, right? Everybody don't mess with Judas, right? But it's like, Judas had to happen. In order for everything to happen, that had to happen.
It had to.
So it's like, you have to learn how to love the Judases. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to learn how to love them. You can't hate them.
Girl.
That hit.
Girl.
You have to love the Judases.
That's dumb. But you know what?
It's the truth, friend.
It is the truth. And honestly, because I'm in the season of the fruits of the Spirit. God has to be displayed every day. Like, if it's not all, it's at least one or two in that day, right? So it is love. Mm-hmm. The first fruit of the Spirit is love. And I'm reading a book about, you know, cultivating the fruits of the Spirit.
I need to borrow
and it's like love. Like, Paul talks about love a lot. And that's what we have to show, even to the people who do us wrong, the people who lie on us, cheat on us, take advantage of us. And that is so, like, the old me was like, they could all burn in hell.
Okay.
Every last one of them.
Okay.
But now the God in me says, I have to love them. I get to love them.
I get to love them.
And what does that look? It doesn't mean that I'm going to be like, oh, be all up on somebody. No, it is a forgiveness. Like, okay, they did me wrong, but you know what? I forgive them.
Yeah, because I did my God wrong and he forgave me. So what makes you think that I can't forgive a person?
Girl, when I get cut off on the street.
For real.
It is it's okay.
Yeah, but we all got them people in our lives that's like a Judas. And we have to love the Judases.
We do. That's a hard, girl. That's like, have you ever seen the antibiotic pill? It's real big, and you gotta
have to chop that thing down a little bit.
You gotta like put water in your mouth, then put the pill, then do one of these, and just throw your head back. Like,
you have to chop it down a little bit. But it's
that's a big pill. But you know what?
It ain't too big for God though. God can.
Girl, yes. But understand, I was one of those people who said they can all go to hell. Now that I have surrendered to God and working in my fruits of the Spirit, I say something different because God lives within me. So I know, and it's one of those things to say it, but to actually display it is another. Yeah. So when you can, like, just, you know, hi, how you doing, and be pleasant to the people who hurt you and all that, that is love.
That is. And when it shows up for you, you probably gonna realize it after the fact. Like, God is gonna change you from the inside, though. You know what I mean? Like, from the inside, you no longer are going to want to hate people. You are not going to want to do those things because it's not pleasing to Him. And we want to please our Father.
And honestly, hating people, that only hurts you.
Too much work, child.
It only hurts you. Like, why are you swallowing poison to try to hurt somebody else? It's hurting you. So you have to let it go and pray that, you know, God, like, I want to be able to forgive and love those who persecute me. Girl, like, because you already know, like, check. A year ago when I was talking about, you know, if somebody slap you on one cheek, turn around and slap you remember that conversation? Like, I said absolutely not.
Right.
What do I look like?
Right.
And now it's completely different. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Because Jesus died for me. He didn't have to.
Come on.
If he didn't die for me, I wouldn't even have a cheek.
It's bigger than me. It's bigger than my pride. It's bigger than my feelings. It's bigger than my heart being broke. It's bigger. It's bigger than all of that. I'm gonna get over all of that. God gonna deliver me from heartbreak. He gonna deliver me from my feelings being hurt. Yeah, I can get over that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, it's bigger than that,
girl.
All right, y'all. Last verse. Proverbs. What is it? 19:23. The fear of the Lord leads to life. Then one rests content, untouchable by trouble. If you have the fear,
read that again. Hold on, because mine say something different.
The fear of the Lord leads to life. Then one rests content, untouched by trouble.
I like that.
The fear of the Lord leads to life. That is the what we receive from fearing the Lord. That is a reward for us. You know what I mean? Like, that is something that he's gonna. It's leading to life, eternal life. You know, it's bigger than just doing what we want to do.
And at the end, mine says, he will not be visited by harm. So it's like you untouchable,
untouched by trouble. It can't even. It's like you have a shield of.
Girl, it's a force field.
Come on.
And it's like, you know, like Fred Hammond song, "No weapon
formed against me shall prosper."
And it's like,
seriously though.
So no harm will come to me, right? I when I fear the Lord, no harm can come to me, right? He gives me desires of my heart. I have a friendship. I'm blessed. I receive wisdom through his instruction. I receive honor through humility. This sounds pretty good.
Okay.
It's like, if that don't sound hard at all.
Out of all of those scriptures, this is. It
sums it all. It's like.
It sums it up.
It's the fear of the Lord.
It's not a bad thing, y'all.
It's not. It's not like, a bad thing. Like you say, it's life.
It's life.
It's life. It's giving you hope, purpose, love. It's giving you fulfillment.
Come on.
It's giving you all. It's giving. No, it's giving.
It's giving.
It's not taking anything away. Honestly,
it's giving.
Like what is God asking of you? All good things.
Right.
You know, the only thing you gotta give up is your flesh.
Come on.
The only thing you gotta give up is sin. Anyway. So
and you giving up sin is helping you. Right. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna help you in the long run. You giving up whatever sin you're stuck in. So technically it's still a gain.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, you're losing something, but it's still gain because it's helping you in the long run.
Listen, a lot of people need to because you're aging really fast, baby. And what you need to do is give your life to God, and you'll look like 10, 20 years younger.
Come on.
Because the world is wearing you down. You feel with worry. You feel with anxiety. You feel with all these stressors because you're living through the world. You're worried about what people saying on Instagram. You're worried about all this other stuff. You got people you hate, and they hating on you. And it's like, all that stuff is showing up in your face, baby.
Because one thing I'm not going to do is let life, and I ain't living for God.
Right.
Like, at this point, it's pointless. You going to let life just life. You going through all of this stuff for nothing?
Nothing.
You know what I mean?
Don't get no peace, and you got bags under your ass. So, either you're going to develop a loving fear of God, and he's going to take care of you, or you're going to continue to live by this world standards, allowing the devil to use you up. And when he done with you, it ain't going to be no pat on the back. It ain't going to be no flowers. It ain't going to be nothing. You're just going to be used up. So why not surrender to God? Because that's life.
Yes, because every knee shall bow and every tongue shall confess that Jesus is Lord. So there's going to be a point where you're not going to question if this thing was real or not. You're going to know.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You're going to know.
Girl, I'm waiting. I've been looking up at the sky like, Lord, you gonna crack it open like an egg today? Every day. Like every time. It's been in Cincinnati, it's been raining for days.
I know, we finally got sun, y'all.
Child, I'll just be looking up at the sky like, is he gonna crack it right here?
Like, what is it going
like? I mean, I envision a rip in the sky, and his hand I'm just like, Take me, Lord. I'm ready.
Snatch me, child. Please snatch me.
Oh, like, can you imagine that though? Like, you just be sitting and talking to somebody, and then all of a sudden you just gone.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? What happened? If y'all, I'm telling y'all, if y'all never seen Left Behind, you gotta watch it. Because there's so many good Christian movies out there. Like, I have watched Testament, the story of Moses, maybe.
When I say it's so
12
good,
times.
you have?
I've watched it pretty much every day.
It's so good.
And it's 3 parts.
It is.
And it's like an hour.
And they like,
each.
but no, they longer than an hour, friend. They like almost 2, like an hour and a half. But that is so good.
And it's like the person who plays Moses is like, just to see stories of the Bible come to life. Mm-hmm. I mean, I watched the Abraham one. Oh my God, that was amazing.
Yeah. What is it? His only son?
Yeah.
His only son.
You know, Chosen. There's so many great, you know, movies out there that speak on the Bible. Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for David. I'm waiting for the movie of David.
Oh, that's gonna be a long one, child.
Girl,
story.
It got to be broken up in like 10 parts. You know, let that be a series.
You got to start from
But you know, it really helps you visualize the Bible, right? Mm-hmm. Like, it's no substitute by any means from reading it.
Absolutely.
But it gives you, if you are a visual person,
that'll help you.
It will help you.
Yeah, it will. It will. And it'll bring it more into reality. Like, this ain't just something that you read. And because a lot of people think that just because it's written by man that it's just stories, you know what I mean? But no, this stuff really happened.
Yes,
you know what I mean? And it's backed by historical truths. And you know what I mean? Yeah. So the visuals, the movies, the TV shows, all of that stuff will help you to make it reality. You know what I mean?
I'm waiting for him. I'm waiting for the story of Joseph. I'm waiting for the story.
I want to see David. A story of Job.
I want to see Samuel.
I want to see Job.
I want to see Job. I want to see who else?
Esther. Do they got one for Esther?
Oh, do they?
I don't think they got one for Esther. That's gonna be good too, though.
I'm waiting for. I want Samson. I mean, even though
Samson and Delilah.
Yeah. So it's one of those things where it's like when we see it, it's like it just comes together, and it's
so exciting. Story. Like, the Bible is like, I'm sorry, y'all, but the Bible is just so juicy. Like, it's just so, when I read it, every time I read it, like, even like downtime, whatever, I'm just gonna crack open my book because it's just so. Girl, I can't even explain it.
You know what I just thought about? It's like the Old Testament is like just soap operas. For real. Because if you read it, it's so much drama.
For real.
It's so much it's so much.
Especially Genesis. When at the beginning, when they was acting crazy.
Girl, I just the Israelites. Mm-hmm. I'm like, why are y'all not listening? Listen, y'all go see, if you have Netflix, watch the Testament, the story of like, these people live, like, God delivered them out of slavery, and these people still didn't receive instructions well.
And then just hold on, let's talk about the moment. We're gonna get off of here, y'all. We sorry. But remember, did you see the moment where Moses was up on the mount? He was talking to God. He was gone for like 7-8 days or whatever. He came back down and they was building the calf.
Girl, it said 40. Aaron said 40 days.
Was it 40?
Over 40 days.
Maybe it was. And they was building the calf. Aaron okayed it. And Moses came down. He was, when he threw them things, he was smoking. And I would have been too. Cause where's y'all faith at? If I said I was coming back, I'm coming back.
First of all, if the parting of the Red Sea didn't teach y'all nothing,
y'all gonna worship this thing, this calf thing,
girl.
Over
soap opera.
It's good. Y'all. Sorry, y'all. We just got it. But please watch it, y'all, because we can talk about that in the comments.
Girl, I'm gonna watch that when I get home.
Me too.
I'm like, how can y'all? And he always called them children. Because how many times you got to repeat yourself?
Yeah.
But they still wouldn't get it, and sometimes it's not even the people as a whole. It's like this 1 or 2 that stir the pot, right? And then most people just are followers.
And they had the wrong fear of the Lord. Because they was scared to go. They like, oh no, Moses, you go. We don't want to go all the way up. We don't want to get too close to God. Like, we don't want to. Y'all should want to. He done brought y'all through this stuff.
Girl.
Y'all supposed to be like, let me just get a little
because
close.
I feel like when you are drenched in sin, of course you don't want to be next to anything holy.
The light was too much. But still, like y'all got the wrong fear. Y'all truly fear. Y'all truly scared.
They scared because they don't have
no faith.
They don't have faith. They don't feel like they
faith,
worthy.
Girl, they ain't.
Moses, he killed a man, and he was like, I'm stained. Like, I took a life. How can God use
he chose me?
And he still got chosen.
He chose me.
Baby, it ain't nothing that you have done that God can't
exclude you from.
Right.
Come on.
Like, God, he can he forgives you.
He might pick you he might pick you just because you did that one thing. He might use you. You know what I mean? Like, listen, if he using me
and me,
he can use y'all. I'm just saying. Cause
we just went on a tangent. We're sorry. But we love talking to y'all. Real. Like, come on. Like, God is amazing. He is faithful. And I feel privileged.
Yes.
I feel
for real.
I feel very privileged that he calls me daughter.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But that is it for us, guys. Let us know in the comment, like, if you've seen Testament, if you've seen The Chosen, let us know your favorite parts.
Yes.
Like, let us know.
And if y'all got some recommendations, let us know.
Let us know.
We want to watch some stuff and talk about it.
We want it all.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna end it here.
Yes.
But remember, we love you guys.
And Jesus loves y'all more.
And we will catch you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.